Just Eff It. Hi, I'm Romy.
Hi, and I'm Carla.
And together we are the EFFing
Madres.
Madres. We are here to invite you guys into stories of some inspiring madres
who have changed their lives through an Eff It moment. So here we go. Just Eff It.
Hey guys, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Camaraderie Monday.
Here's another one that I'm learning to say. Mompreneur.
Oh, mompreneur. Just mompreneur. There we go.
Mompreneur.
Yeah, mompreneur Mondays. There we go.
Right?
Yeah.
Mompreneur Mondays. That's because Clara's book that I'm reading is really like getting in my head. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, or mompreneurial Mondays. There we go.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that.
Who are we?
All right. We are the Eff It Madres. I am Carla. This is Romy. We are two moms, two best friends who decided to say Eff It at the same time and basically decided, you know what? Wouldn't it be great to interview other moms who have said this, who want this, who are in the midst of it, just like how we are, for just being like for motivation and inspiration. We needed it selfishly. We were doing it for ourselves, but also at the same time, it's benefiting so many people, so many moms out there to hear other moms just like us, just like you, go through these big Eff It moments and, you know, come out the other side being happier for themselves and for their families and following their true, authentic paths in life. And like I was telling Romy, even if some of them didn't necessarily work out the way that they planned, there's always learning that comes out of that, a big lesson. And so I always think that makes everyone, you know, better in the end. So that's what this podcast is about. Yeah.
Two moms, two Latinas, two best friends with their story, inspiring others and others inspiring us that hopefully inspire you. It's just a big love fest of mom and women.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, who do we have on?
So today we have on Kat and her wife, Mariana. And Kat, I know from way back when in my San Francisco days. We have a lot of mutual friends. And my girlfriend basically had showed me her company that she was doing, which is, you know, this, I'll let her get into it actually, because that's her Eff It moment. But I was really inspired by it. So I reached out to her and I was like, oh my gosh, like you look like you're doing so well. I'm so happy for you. Love to have you come and share, you know, what you guys are doing. And so the little that I know, so I'm excited to find out, is that they had this Eff It moment and created this company. And from what I know of it, it's a platform that really supports queer owned brands and companies. So it's like family, you know, and really supporting and promoting that. And I mean, what a great month to have them on. It's Pride Month right now, you know? So I'm really excited to hear how they just went after this. And I haven't talked to her in so long.
And they're two mamas?
Two mamas.
Nice. Okay, yeah. That's going to be exciting to hear. So let's bring them in just a second. Okay, everybody, we have Kat and Mariana on. And I think you said it right, Romy. Maybe not, but we're correcting it now. Okay, so we brought you guys in real quick. So we're going to just jump right into the questions. And the first question we have for you is, when did you decide to just Eff It and why?
Yeah, so we decided to Eff It just a month ago. It's brand new. So Kat and I had a business idea for over a year now, but the stars just didn't align then. Kat was a co-founder at a tech startup, and I was working in marketing. And so it was just this idea that we would bounce around, but we didn't think it was going to go anywhere. And then this last May, just kind of everything aligned perfectly, where we went back to that idea and we're like, let's do this.
Yeah. And that idea is FAM. So heyfam.com. And the idea really is pretty much bringing together in one place all LGBTQ plus founded brands that are selling online. So mostly e-com businesses, and just making it really easy for people to discover these brands and support these businesses. And these products by these brands are very unique too. A lot of them are made for the community by the community. So that's what FAM is.
I love it. I had it right then because I was explaining it and I was like, I believe it's like a platform, you know, where people can go and find owned brands and companies and know that they can be supported there and find those. So like I absolutely love this. I had no idea that it was only a month ago that you guys
Yeah.
went after
Well,
this. I know.
congratulations.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Congratulations. Isn't it amazing when the stars align? Like when things just start like falling into place, it's like, okay, we can't ignore this.
Really is,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's
Well,
awesome.
this would like lead into the next question, which I want to get deeper into it is, what did you do about it? First of all, like before that, which I don't normally ask, but I need to ask you guys, kind of like what brought you to this? Like what really got you guys where the stars were aligned that made you decide you were going to do this jump? And then when you did do that jump, like what did that jump look like? What did you do about it?
One big thing behind this idea is really this moment in history where there is a record number of anti LGBTQ bills that are being introduced and passed. There is an increase of violence against our community. And really, I mean, this sort of thing has been going on forever as an underrepresented and marginalized group. But yeah, so we really wanted to, because we had this opportunity, we thought, okay, why don't we create something for our community specifically?
Yeah. Yeah. And I left my job recently. I was at a company, tech company, as Mariana mentioned, a social impact company for almost a decade. And I was able to kind of grow that company from like single digit folks to, 200 full-time people. So it's just a lot of the experience and the skills that I picked up along the way there. I was like, okay, this is perfect. Like there's an opportunity to take that wealth of knowledge and experience and apply it to something that we can do for our community. And as Mariana said, it's like we do not have enough seats at the table. We just do not. We do not have enough wealth, agency, power. I mean, and we are not shy about talking about things like money and generational wealth because we fucking deserve it and we should have it. I don't know if I should be cursing, but
You can
anyway,
curse. Yes, you can
Yeah.
absolutely curse on
Yes.
here.
It's
And
the, yeah.
yeah.
but like that's another reason that we're doing this is because it's hard for LGBTQ plus entrepreneurs to even raise money and funding. VCs don't get it. They don't understand the problems that we face, the unique experiences that we have. And so the more that we can do to help these companies and businesses grow and gain exposure, right, without having to go out and raise money and have these people who are not values aligned or don't get their business on their board making major decisions for their company, like that's the whole point. So that was a big part of this as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big jump from what you were doing, from what you were both doing. So how did that finally making that decision? What were you guys feeling? What were the emotions going behind that? I'm really curious.
It was definitely a roller coaster of emotions. I mean, I feel like over the last month, I have been excited and motivated and scared and overwhelmed and all of the things. We also one piece that really stands out for me about what we've been doing is we started a founder interview series.
Yeah.
So we're starting to interview the founders of these LGBTQ brands, and it has been so inspiring just being able to connect with them and hear their story and hear their why and more about their business. But so that has been really cool. But yeah, a lot of feelings and a lot of emotions.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Especially as like as a married couple going into this, like we have to navigate that carefully. So, like when are we in business mode and partnership mode in this venture versus when are we, right? Okay, like let's close the computers and turn off the fam stuff and when are we in like true family mode? Yeah.
Yeah, that must be a hard delineation.
Yeah.
Because you guys are doing this from home? You're working from home, or do you have a brick and okay? So
Yeah.
yeah, that's gotta be tough sometimes.
We are in different offices, but still.
Yeah.
Our
Was
schedule.
Yeah.
there like some fear in walking away from that? I'm curious, like fear of walking away from what you had established and knowing that you had the skills and the tools to do this, right? That you could now apply for something that you really were passionate about and believed in. But Are you nervous a little bit about that?
Oh yeah. I mean, and yeah, anytime you're starting something new, it's like, and from the ground up, I mean, there's a ton of fear that goes into that. It's like fear of failure, right? Like, will this resonate? Do people get it? Um, but we're in a super, super privileged position to be able to focus on this full time for the rest of the year and see where it goes. Like, see if we can figure out a business model that still supports the community. Like, the last thing that we want to do is like rob our community, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of platforms out there charging massive transactional fees just to be like listed. We're not trying to do that. Like, that literally defeats the purpose, right? In fact, we're going to have a model where we are giving back like a percentage of profits to our community, right? So I think that's stressful, is like figuring that out, within the next however many months.
I think Carla and I always say this because, when we started this podcast and this whole thing, it was, we're two best friends. So we have a relationship as best friends, but then we now are in business together. So you have to really find that, how we're going to create this new relationship
Mhm.
working together, right? Putting time and energy together. So that's obviously always going to be something new and challenging. But also one of the things like I get, like, first of all, right now it is such a huge time for what you guys are doing and so important what you guys are doing. And
Mhm.
to be able to take that risk and really be part of speaking up and standing up right now, where it like breaks my heart. I've had it on my heart heavy lately, and clearly
Mhm.
we all have, right?
Yeah.
So you guys took that big movement and you're like, okay, we're going to get a part of this. And I think what, like, Carla and I are always saying is, if we're doing this just for the reward, like the financial reward of this, we're gonna lose sight of why we're doing this, because we're doing
Yeah.
this for women, we're doing this for moms, we're doing this because we need a space. So like you guys were saying, in those interview processes and getting to know people's stories, that's where like the real beauty comes from it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And that's the beautiful thing about this and your space, is just getting to know people's stories and their whys and their reasons for these types of things is so
Yeah.
beautiful. And we don't want to lose that. I think we both can relate to like making sure we stay focused on the why we started this in the first
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, having a why for, I mean, even Mel Robbins and all those people that we follow, that's like, what, know your why. You have to have that, because
Yeah.
if you don't, then what's the point?
Mhm.
And so for us, it's to impact. It's for you guys to impact, and
Mhm.
so that is the priority. And
Yeah.
I always think that will supersede anything. So
Absolutely. Yeah. And the stories, as you were mentioning, Romy, like that is super important, sharing those stories of these other entrepreneurs, because it will inspire the next generation of LGBTQ plus founders and
Yes.
entrepreneurs, right? And so that's really that type of visibility is so impactful.
It's also so inspiring to have two moms on here, like being able to say, hey, like, we felt passionate about something, that we walked away from what we were doing to go after something that we believed in and that was like triggering at our hearts, and we're doing it because, again, your story is inspiring as well to those that are listening and think they can't do that or don't know how to do that. So all of us sharing these type of movements and effort moments that we have in our life, like, we need more of them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we need to hear other people's so that we're inspired to do it.
Yes.
I was going to ask, in regards to the founder interviews that you guys are doing, is it something that people just access on your Instagram, or is that a podcast you guys have started? How do people hear that?
Yeah. So they live on our website in blog form. And
Mm.
so far, the way we've been doing them is we hop on Zoom. And so we get to, see the founders and be able to talk with them. And then we are able to transcribe them afterwards, turn them
Mm.
into more of an interview, cleaned up format. And then, yeah, so they're in text form on the website. And then we promote them on our Instagram.
Awesome. Okay. That's great.
Are people coming to you guys right now? Are you seeking out? Are you reaching out? Or is it a combination of both?
It's a combo of both. So, what we did initially is we kind of sourced all the brands and wrote bios for them, put them up on our site, and did outreach to every single brand. Just, of course, consent, right? At the end of the day. So making sure that they wanted to be forward facing on our site. And quite a few of them also asked them to do these founder spotlight interviews. And we were actually quite surprised how many of these founders were like, yes. In fact, we're very behind on transcribing a lot of these, but it's a great problem to have. And like Mariana mentioned, it's giving us an opportunity to reconnect with our community, really, and
Yeah.
other entrepreneurs. So yeah.
I
One last question. Sorry, I don't want to derail from this, but one last question in regards to the founders that you're interviewing. Is it so you're saying it's strictly e-commerce, or are you guys open to it expanding into other things like maybe entertainment or whatever? Because I have a close friend who is a writer, director, aspiring, who is LGBTQ plus in the LGBTQ plus community, and so I'm curious if is that open up to them too?
Yeah,
Okay.
so we are slowly, maybe not slowly, as quickly as we can, launching new categories. Right now, it is apparel, accessories, and beauty. So a lot of businesses right now. Then we want to start rolling out services. We also want to do artists, actors. Eventually, like we want everything up there.
Creators, yeah,
Hmm.
podcasts, right? I
Yeah.
mean, the vision is that it is a hub, right? This is where you,
yeah.
because a lot of it is fragmented right now and lives in a lot of different places. And to answer the second part of the prior question, because I lost my train of thought, we also have brands coming to us. So we have a button on the site where brands can submit their profiles and reach out. And we've actually had quite a few brands reach out to us to be listed, which is really cool.
I love that. And I love that
Yeah.
it's going to expand and, be there for services and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah.
like I was saying, it does feel like it's been heavy on my heart. We're doing the coaching program, and I was telling Carla recently, I was like really praying on it. I was like, which direction do I want to go in? And it was to be there for our community right now. And so that's the direction I'm going with even my coaching program. And today I had my first like 2 sessions with since the program started with school and whatever. But that was that was like what we got into, and I was like, oh, this feels so good. Like it
Mm.
just feels so right now to be putting myself out there right now for this. So I love that you guys are doing that. I think it's awesome. But I'm curious, coming back to this effort moment, like what did it do for your family? What is it doing for your family by doing this?
I think some small things that are happening right now is just being able to create our own schedule. It's we
Yes.
sort of had this before, but yeah, we get to hang out with our little one in the mornings, and then we're working like late mornings, afternoons, and then we get to hang out with him again in the late afternoons and evenings. So that has been really awesome.
Yeah, yeah. We've had a nice balance in terms of time with Nico, our 20-month-old going on 21 months. So it's almost two. And working on this thing that we're super passionate about. But the other thing that this is doing, I kind of touched on this a little bit before, but it's helping us reconnect with our community again. I mean, we get older, you like start a family.
Mm-hmm.
For us, it's like there's been this disconnect with the LGBTQ plus community,
Yeah.
apart from like our very small like circle
Mm-hmm.
of friends. And so this is, I mean, we were just at Pride with Nico. It was his first time here in Sacramento, and we made like a couple of friends, like exchange numbers. We have like play dates scheduled, and so that's just been. I mean, it's just been really neat to meet other community members and reconnect with the community, and have that be a part of Nico's life and experience
Yeah.
so early.
I love that. I feel that heavy, you saying that, like the reconnection. I mean, with motherhood and getting older, and Kat, we were younger and
Yeah,
SF and all our friends and everything, but you kind of like do disconnect, and you kind of just become like, like mom and parent and like
yeah,
adult, and you disconnect from that. And I feel so the need to connect. I'm taking my daughter to her first Pride this year, with my family and my friends, and I'm so excited about it to
yeah,
start engaging her in the community. And I totally feel that with you guys. So you saying that too, I'm like, oh, I don't feel so alone. There's like a part of
Mhm.
me that like wants it back and I miss it and
Yeah.
I feel disconnected and I need it back in my life, and in my
Mhm.
daughter's life.
Yeah.
So I love that. And just the fact that you guys are getting this time with your family, I want to speak on that because Carla and I always say this. The reason we wanted to do the things that we're doing too, and I always say it in my affirmations, it's I want that freedom.
Mhm.
I want the freedom in my life to be there for my child and show up for those things and do the things I want to do. And so many of us are like, how do we do it? Well, having these effort moments and doing scary jumps into new careers
Mhm.
ultimately gives you that freedom.
Yeah.
There's no price for that, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. It's super scary, but it's, as you see, it's so worth it to be able to just call your own fucking shots.
Yeah.
Be your own boss.
Yeah.
Like, that is boss.
Yes.
And I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I'd rather like live in a cardboard box before I work for anybody else but myself or
Yes.
with us, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm curious though, because you're guys in the midst of your effort moment, so it is very new. What fears come up for you guys? What scares you in this process of developing this?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really about how does this thing become a business? And we have ideas about this. Like we have very kind of somewhat clear path to figuring this out, but it goes back to that balance component where we're going to be a for-profit company. If we want to keep growing this thing and bringing value to our community and wealth to our community, like we have to figure out how to monetize it, right? But it's figuring out what that model looks like and having a time limit to it, right? Like a deadline. And so for us, like that's of course really scary because there's just a lot that can go wrong when you're building a startup. So much can go wrong, so many wrong turns. But I would say that's the biggest one, at least for me, is just figuring out how we can keep doing this thing and growing this thing. I mean, forever until we retire. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think for me, it's just time, not having enough time and
Yeah.
balancing everything.
Yeah.
It's like we kind of have a time frame getting this, fully up and running. But we're already so busy and we didn't expect to be this busy, but then we're also juggling life, being parents, and then just finding enough time to get all the stuff done for our business. We literally have like lists and lists of things that we need to get due. We're going on a trip soon, so we're just like working nonstop to get everything like scheduled and ready for that. But yeah, just balancing life and the fear of just not having enough time to get it done.
Yeah. And to
Yeah.
that point, also just like practicing the boundaries that we need to practice with like work and family and
Mm-hmm.
Nico time and us time. That's a big part of it. It's related to the time piece, but yeah.
You said taking wrong turns, and I want to challenge that. Are they really wrong turns?
Exactly.
They're
Exactly.
not really wrong turns. They're just going to take you into a different path, different direction, and
Yeah.
you'll learn from them. But I don't know. I've been very much on like, was it really a mistake?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's not really because it ends up taking you to where you actually need to go. So you're just going to learn a lot. You'll fall. You won't fail. You'll fall,
Yeah.
but you'll get back up.
Which
Exactly.
is so important for everyone listening who has the dream or desire to start something or go after something, or you feel something triggering at your soul. Like, yeah, we say it all the time. Like, you may fall, may not work, you may get back up, you may do this, but like all of that is part of the experience. And we've
Mhm.
been like even inviting a mom to come on here and share a story of starting something and it not working and then what it did for them, But like, if you don't take that risk, you don't know. You have no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And I
it,
love that saying, like, if you're not failing, you're not living.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you guys are living. Well, you will see because things will happen and we'll all fall down but hey, we're living life and we're giving it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, they're learning opportunities, right? So they get you to where you're supposed to be faster.
Totally. I mean, the second leg to this question is how are you staying in your effort momentum? But I guess your why is what's keeping you in that momentum. There isn't that place for your community to come together, and so you guys are providing that. It sounds like that's what's keeping you guys moving. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. And there's actually quite a few other kind of businesses, not businesses, but projects like this, but they're focused on like brick and mortar, or they're focused on like trans owned businesses, or it's like the, LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce, right? So I think that's great because the more of us, the better who are tackling this opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's important too that you guys touched as far as like the mom part of this is that like yeah, there's the juggle of, we are moms. We have the responsibility of our homes, our relationships that we need to nurture, your marriage, your child, like the responsibility of life. And so many times when we have all of that, we're like we can't take on something new. We can't, it's too scary, we can't do that. We have our family, and that is what we focus so much on here is that like even as moms and with kids, we can take really scary steps, you know what I mean, that shake up the direction we were going in. And we need to keep doing that and inspiring women to do that because for so long we got locked into like, I'm mom, this is it,
Mhm.
security, safety, we're home, like this is how it's supposed to be. And it's it's possible. You guys are showing that, right? Like it's possible. You do it and you figure it out and you create boundaries and you make time for what needs to be there. And that's like such a healthy, beautiful thing to learn as well for you guys.
I feel
Yeah,
like even being a mom has helped with my mental stress with running a company during the day.
it does. Yeah.
It's I'll be in my office and I might be stressed about something, and then every day Nico will wake up from his nap and our nanny's here, and his room is right across from the office, and like he never misses this, but he'll run to my door and he'll knock on it, and then he like breaks in and like comes and gives me a hug and like runs around the room and then like runs out of the room. It's so adorable, but it's
Yeah.
just like a little piece of joy that I get every day.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
recharge.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I
It's a
love that.
beautiful yet stressful distraction.
Yeah.
Like I love my kid, but my God, take her.
I love this. Well, I mean, the last question here then would be for anyone listening, like, what is your advice to anyone listening? Any kind of advice you want to give?
This goes back to what you were saying, Carla. So, for us, one of our values, and we created a bunch of values when we started this thing a month ago, but one of our values is celebrating our wins, no matter how
Mm,
small they are, because we are so
Yes.
focused on the failure piece and what failure means, right? And like the negativity like seeps in, but at the end of the day, there's so much that you both already mentioned, Romy and Carla, around like how the taking the risk alone is a huge,
yes.
it's a big deal, right?
Yeah,
And
it
like we
is.
should be giving ourselves a pat on the back for doing that because no one else is going to do it, right? Like no one's going to praise
Mhm.
us for that. So I think for us, like, even the small, I'll give you an example. The smallest thing, we hit 100 followers on our Instagram, and we're like, oh my God, we hit 100 followers in a week or whatever. But we're
That's
going to
great.
celebrate those things.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, we just officially like got our paperwork and became an official like business LLC. So like those are things that we're celebrating and making sure we're not forgetting those moments because they all can lead up to something big.
Isn't it interesting how when you do change your mindset and you focus on those things versus like all the negative stuff, how much more empowering and fueling it is to keep moving forward and being inspired every day? Like it is the smallest thing, but it is the biggest
Mhm.
shift.
Yes.
So everyone take a lesson from that. Mel Robbins, small wins, celebrate them. It's a big deal.
Yeah. And then did you have
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, I think for me, both of us have been entrepreneurs pretty much our entire career. And so for anyone that wants to be an entrepreneur, just I think it's important to remember that you are smart as hell and you
Yes.
can figure anything out. So if that means watching YouTube videos, reading a book, if you have a friend who's in that industry, like spending an hour talking to them, whatever it is, it's just I've started multiple things, and sometimes I mean it's so easy to have self-doubt and want to give up, but it's like no, we can do this, we can figure it out if we like set our mind to it and put in the work and the time and the energy. I truly believe we can figure out and conquer anything.
Yeah.
That's so important. And I know that that was like us when we started this podcast. We were like YouTubing on Amazon. We were like, what do we need? How do we do this? You should have seen us trying to figure out a Zoom call for the first time. I mean, it was a disaster. And here we are, like almost a year into a podcast. And we're like, we wanted to do it. Like we figured it out. And Carla's the queen of like researching everything. And I am the one who was always like, I don't think I'm smart enough. And she's like, go do it. Go fucking learn. And I'm like, okay. And then I learn and I'm like, oh, I can do that. Okay. It's that easy. If I just fucking research something, I can do it. And I've learned that over this last year through this process of saying, fuck it. And that's kind of my movement of fuck it. I'll figure it out. Fuck it. I'll go to coaching school. Fuck it. We'll start a podcast. Fuck it. You guys will start a business. And I love that you said that because anyone listening, such a powerful message is like, you can fucking do it. Just go fucking learn.
Yes.
The self-doubt is real. Like
It's so real.
everybody, even
Yes.
the most successful people have
Yes.
self-doubt, imposter syndrome.
Yep.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
So just stop. I mean, I'm saying this because I need to remind myself, but like just stop getting in your own way.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that stops us from doing what we want is us. Nobody else.
Yeah.
So.
And Kat, you said, no one else was going to do it but us. And I mean, that's so true. Like if no one's going to do it for you. So
Yeah, exactly.
you just got to do it. Well, I'm so grateful that you came on. Like, thank you for, I'm so glad we reconnected. It'd been so long and I saw that you guys were doing this and I was like, oh, this is so awesome. Like I want to have them on and share this. And it's been close to like my heart wanting to connect with the community as well. So watching this, on Instagram with you guys, I was like, oh, I really want to bring this on. So thank you. And
thank you.
Will you share with everybody where they can go and find you and follow you guys?
Yeah, our website is heyfamm, HEYFAMM.com. And then all of our Instagram handles are hey_fam with 2 M's.
TikTok is very sad right now, but and if you know any social media experts, please send them but yeah, TikTok is the same. It's hey_fam 2 M's.
Awesome. All right. Well, that was great. Thank you so much for being on and taking the time. I know you guys are busy with your business and your baby, but this is where we're going to say
just F it.